Day 5. 2 more days and Amanda will be married. So the memory of the day is once again a missions trip. We went to St. Vincent in 2009. So Amanda and I went and spent about 10 days in the Caribbean. And great place. Place where Pirates of the Caribbean was actually filmed, so we got to go on location where they actually filmed, and got to be actually where Johnny Depp was, and that was a great thing. But the people of St. Vincent were our main subject while we were there, and I got to praise God because I got an opportunity to watch Amanda with young children doing VBS, also with peers her age, between the age of say 15, 16 to 18, 20, and be able to communicate with them the gospel in such a way that it was interesting to most of these folks. When I was looking at some of the notes that I had back from when I took this trip, one of the verses that I studied was Psalm 51, 12 and 13. And it says, "Restore to me the joy of your salvation, and uphold me with a willing spirit. Then I will teach transgressors your ways, and sinners will return to you." And in my notes, it had. I was amazed at how these people they lived a very Christian culture. They would say bless you, and they were always very open to you and peaceful, and they would always say praise God. And but the reality was that it was very, very similar to America, and they just wanted things from us. So Amanda and I made it a priority to teach the truth, and that's why this verse meant so much to me that day. Then because restore to me the joy of your salvation and uphold me with your willing spirit. And it's the Lord to sustain. We need the Lord to be sustained, and it was hard because you just saw people just taking from us. They were taking. We were Americans. We were rich. They wanted what we had. They wanted our things. They just wanted Coca-Cola, they wanted candy, whatever it was. That was their main focus for the most part. But the Lord was holding us up, and we were willing to teach these transgressors. And I'll tell you, we did see a few legitimate people turn and just understand that. And then we got to see that beautiful thing that happens when God changes your heart. And I'm actually in community. I actually see one of them on Facebook still to this day, and they are praising the Lord. So, but anyhow, that was the trip. Great trip. Loved it. We both grew. Amanda and I both grew tremendously being together doing this for 10 days. But this is the funny part. The night we got to St. Vincent, we all went to bed. We were all exhausted, and it's the Caribbean, and we have no air conditioning. So everyone's dying right now, laying in bed because it's 88 degrees and 96% humidity at 2 o'clock in the morning. And all of a sudden, one of the few moments when I did fall asleep, someone shook me awake and said, "Jerry, Amanda's very sick and she needs you." And I went to her immediately, and there she was in a shower, naked, throwing up, and in bad shape. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to bring her. So I just picked up a mattress, brought it out to this beautiful field that overlooked the ocean, and I laid her on there, and I put some nice clean white blankets on it, put some clean white sheets, and then put some clean white sheets on her, and she was able to fall asleep finally after a few hours. And so it was probably around 3 o'clock in the morning. So from 3 to 7, while everyone was sleeping, I watched the sun come up over the ocean, and it was just so obvious that God was at work. I mean, He was showing me His majesty with nature, and seeing my daughter there on the first night in St. Vincent, and seeing how sick she was, but she was at peace at that moment. And I just remember reading the Word and just feeling so much at peace. So that's a memory that I will have forever. Amanda did get better. It took her about 3 or 4 days, and then she became a trooper. Like I said, she was teaching in VBS. We went on a couple of good hikes with a couple of people, visited some very, very poor people, but we had the opportunity to love them for those 10 days. So there it is. That's number 5. Look forward to doing number 6 tomorrow. I love you, Amanda. Have a good night.